So, here we have the TWAB this week. What we've all been waiting for, and hopefully we'll get some answers as to what happened with the Lightfall campaign and the launch of the new DLC. So, this week at Bungie, we're stopping by to talk about Lightfall, to take a leisurely stroll down memory lane, share a deeper look at the sounds of Lightfall, and offer a look at known issues that players have reported since launch. It's a busy week as Guardians embark on their own journey into Neomuna. It's been a blast watching Guardians share those epic Strand takedowns. Seriously, y'all putting grapple through its paces, and it's glorious. Don't stop. And those shared favorite moments taking on Callus's forces so far. There's a lot more on the way, but for now, let's focus on launch week. Before we get started, here's what we're talking about in this week's TWAB Blastic Adventure. Incoming updates to Strand, a cinematic welcome to Season of Defiance, and a new year of storytelling, highlighting incredible music of Lightfall. Notice how that came before the story. A closer look at The Witness. We're getting suspicious with Among Us, which is a interesting collab I was not expecting. Introducing the next raid and sharing a few key dates that you should remember. Celebrating the month of March with our phenomenal women at Bungie Club. Sharing the love from our friends at PlayStation Studios. Some of our favorite fan art and movies of the week. We'll skip last week's blog. All caught up. Awesome. Let's get into it. And don't worry, we'll keep this one easy on the eyes so you can get back to back into the game. So funny, I forgot to laugh. Strand updates incoming. As more players complete the Lightfall campaign and get their hands on Strand, we've heard the initial constructive feedback as with any new subclass in Destiny 2. We want to make sure Strand feels great in players' hands once they've realized its full power, and that evolution doesn't stop at day one. To that end, we've decided to release a live update that will unlock the ability to earn the full suite of Strand fragments for all players later today. Thank the Lord. It was a horrible idea to begin with. I don't know where time gating fragments came along and who allowed that to go live on launch, but that was a horrible idea. I don't think I've heard anyone say it was a good idea. So thankfully they're fixing that, and they have fixed it very quickly. While those additional fragments will be class-specific to unlock, and you'll need Strand meditations to acquire them, this should be a great way for everyone to experience more of what Strand has to offer before we head into next week's raid. Yes, thankfully. That is what should have been the case from the beginning. Speaking of which, we'll need to ensure Strand is balanced against the rest of our subclasses so everyone has a solid raid experience next week. And we'll be keeping an eye on Strand's performance as more players unlock it fully and wield it in the wild. Stay tuned as we get closer to Root of Nightmares opening March 10th. I'm very excited to watch that raid race because unfortunately I will not be able to be there to play. But the story has just begun. We know there are still plenty of questions left unanswered at the end of Lightfall's campaign that you're all eagerly awaiting answers to. As the events of Season of Defiance get into full swing this week, know that this is just the beginning of the next year of storytelling that will connect the events of Lightfall in the final shape. We can't wait for the community to learn more about the Witness's origins, its objective, and the ways we can thwart it and its disciples throughout the Season of the Deep, as well as Seasons 22 and 23 later this year. Season of Defiance brings with it a powerful new fantasy as Guardians land boots on ground, and now that we've reached a point where the war is here and on two fronts, check out what Season of Defiance has to offer. And they've got the Season of Defiance trailer here. So, from what they've just said, given I haven't read the rest of the TWAB, it seems like they're clearly just completely overlooking almost like what feels like 90% of the gripes that people have had with the story. Yeah, we know there's questions left unanswered. We know it's not the final DLC of the Light and Darkness saga. But we didn't know, like, anything. We went in with less questions than we left with. The veil was, like, not explained at all, and everyone seemed to know what it is except us. We don't know why the Witness connecting to the veil was a bad thing. We don't know what happened. Like, we don't know what the Witness did to the Traveler. Like, we have no clue what that was. And doesn't seem like the Vanguard cared at all. Like, their dialogues at the end of the campaign was just, oh my god, the human casualties. We'll fight on. This war's not over. When it should be like, oh my god, the Witness did the thing that we were all worried about because it's supposed to be the end of us if it happens, and it happened. So, unless they go more in depth into what happened with the story, this seems like a very lackluster explanation and doesn't really address any of the problems that most of us had. But let's keep going. Once you're done twabbing your heart out, feel free to mosey on over to our Destiny 2 Lightfall page here to learn more about what's ahead. And then, actually dive in for yourself. We have a feeling y'all are going to have a very intriguing time with Strand. The pyramids are alive with the sound of music. It doesn't take much to appreciate how much a solid soundtrack can make or break an adventure. The right sounds can completely enrapture you, and that's exactly what the music of Lightfall aims to be. Learn how Bungie audio team brought the ethereally neon world of Neomuna to life in our behind-the-scenes look in the video below. Not going to watch that. Can we just take a second to appreciate the sounds of Lightfall, whether it's grapple-punching enemies like a total badass or listening to the calming musical stylings of the intro? The audio world of Destiny 2 continues to grow in expansive and beautiful ways. Pay special attention to the various sounds when traversing Neomuna, and you may find that the rabbit hole goes deeper than you know when it comes to auditory exploration. Oh, and if you're like us and listening to the soundtrack on repeat, you can also scope that out below to dig in even when you're not out in the stars with this playlist here. I've already said this point, seems like they put more effort into the music than they do into things like story and things that should be more important than the music. But Darkness Unveiled, a match made in dramatic entrances. From the start of Destiny, Guardians have been focused on the darkness as an enemy. Now we've learned that it's simply a gateway to something much bigger. In case you missed it, we released another nifty developer insights video that dives into the wielder of its power, the Witness. Learn more about the motivations that drive the powers behind the Witness and uncover a glimpse of at how greatly this threat's plans have been executed this far. Sorry about that. We're Guardians, and we don't take anything lying down, but that doesn't mean knowledge isn't power, so learn more now with Darkness Unveiled. Among Us. In this economy, it's more suspicious than you think. We'll skip this for now. Don't be late. Save the date. A new expansion means more dates to keep in mind when looking for even more to do in Neomuna and beyond. We've got a shiny new raid dropping next week. We've got a chance to try out Strand and GMs later this season, and Guardian Games makes its triumphant return. Pencil these dates down if you fancy any of the below in-game activities. New Root of Nightmares raid, Week 2 on March 10th. Nightfalls, Heist Battlegrounds, Mars, Week 2, March 7th. Hypernet Current, Week 3, March 14th. Arms Dealer, Week 4, March 21st. Glassway, Week 5, March 28th. Lake of Shadows, Week 6, April 4th. Then Grandmasters, Week 7 on April 11th. Trials, Week 4. Then just says out the rest of the weeks. Iron Banner, Guardian Games. Players Support Report. A new expansion means our player support team is working hard and making sure everything runs smoothly, and you can enjoy your time digging into Neomuna when you're not busy saving the world in Season of Defiance. Here's their report on current known issues for Week 1 of Lightfall. Console update downloads. If you have console update downloads, I guess you can take a look at this, but I personally play on PC. Consoles who are encountering issues logging into Destiny 2 after update 7.0.0.1 are advised to take a look at the following pinned forum threads for download troubleshooting steps they can take. Hypernet Current Strike. The Hypernet Current Strike is not progressing Step 13 of the Lightfall campaign if players completed the strike for the first time in a fire team before reaching this step. Players in a fire team need to all be on Step 13 of the Lightfall campaign for the quest to progress normally. We're currently investigating a fix for players who remain blocked by this issue. Disorienting Blow Disable. Due to an issue, we have temporarily disabled Arc Hunter's Disorienting Blow melee ability. This ability will be re-enabled in a future update. I haven't played Hunter, nor have I really played PvP since Lightfall dropped, so I didn't even know this was an issue. Jotun Crucible disabled. Due to an issue, we have temporarily disabled Jotun Exotic Fusion Rifle in all Crucible playlists. The weapon will be re-enabled in a future update. That has me curious. What went wrong? What happened? What was Jotun doing that was so broken? Lightfall Xbox pre-orders. Xbox players having issue accessing their Lightfall DLC may have had their purchase refunded by their financial institution or platform. Players should check that they have the DLC successfully installed in their platform game library and double check the contents included in their specific owned edition of the DLC. If issues persist, we recommend reaching out to Xbox support to verify their pre-orders were successfully completed. Known issues. While we continue investigating known issues, here's a list of the latest issues that were reported to us in our help forum. Opening the commendation snapshot screen on consoles may cause the game to crash. We are investigating an issue preventing players from creating Find Fireteam posts via Bungie.net and the companion app. Update, this has been fixed. Text chat visibility may appear faded or difficult to read on certain light backdrops. Non-Lightfall quests are incorrectly appearing under the Lightfall category of the Quest tab. Master Dungeons are not displaying Artifice Armor as a possible reward preview. The names of the Season of Defiance Pass ornament set and seasonal armor sets are swapped. Some players may be unable to join competitive Crucible matches after their in-game suspension is scheduled to expire. Players affected by this issue can resolve it by playing a match of competitive Crucible with an alternate character. Elemental Reloader mods do not apply their reload speed buffs to players if they load into a new activity or respawn. Reapplying the mods will return the buff. Yeah, definitely fix that. That's a big one. The Guardian ranks seasonal reset text incorrectly states that ranks 6 through 10 are advanced ranks, and players at these ranks will reset to rank 5 at the end of the season. Ranks 7 through 11 are advanced ranks, and players at these ranks will reset to rank 6 at the end of the season. Wait, that confuses me. I don't even understand. The Swarmer's Warlock exotic leg armor does not create threadlings when a tangle is thrown. If a player has the Strand Shackle Grenade equipped, the Quicksilver Storm exotic auto rifle and Touch of Malice exotic scout rifle has lost their 40% damage increase against red bar enemies, activating 4 times a charm with the first shot of Reversion 0 alternate fire mode. Results in players losing all alternative fire shots and kicking them from the alternative firing mode. The Ascendant Scepter mod's triumph from Season of Defiance is counting previous Season 19 mod unlocks for its completion total, allowing some players to complete this triumph early. Players who did not unlock enough artifact mods during Season 19 are currently blocked from completing this triumph. Veteran players starting Lightfall at Guardian rank 6 will not receive Vanguard lore books 1 through 6 and only receive Vanguard lore book 7. The Shielded Foes activity modifier displays a placeholder icon. The Mark is All Seen button in collections no longer dismisses new item flashes. That's annoying. The Wendigo Heavy Grenade Launcher is missing part of its impact VFX. The Season 19 Clan Staff is missing a title and description in English. The Dimensional Hypotrochoid Heavy Grenade Launcher can roll with a range masterwork despite not having a range stat. The Manticore Exotic Submachine Gun cannot be obtained from the collections. For a full list of emergent issues in Destiny 2, players can review our known issues article. Players who observe other issues should report them to our help forum. Alright, overall, some big issues. The Elemental Reloader. But overall, none of these that were described seem too game-breaking, I should say. But swinging into Women's History Month to offer a little light. Join Bungie in celebrating Women's History Month. For the entire month of March, all proceeds from the purchase of International Women's Day pin on the Bungie store will go directly to Futures Without Violence to help achieve their mission of creating healthy families and a violence-free tomorrow. Additionally, for the first time, the Empowered Voices emblem will be available directly through Bungie Foundation for a $10 donation. All donations received during March will also support Futures Without Violence, so don't be afraid to do a little good in the world in celebration of a brighter future. Guardians everywhere can donate right here. They got a link right there. A new home with PlayStation. Lightfall marks the first expansion we here at Bungie have launched as part of our new home at Sony PlayStation. And the pride we've felt seeing the support from other PlayStation teams has had us feeling all the warm and fuzzies. To all the studios that made us feel right at home, thank you. To celebrate, we wanted to share the messages from our PlayStation fam below as a thank you for making us feel so welcome. The future is bright. almost as if our game centered around the light or something. Curious. And that's a wrap for the first TWAB post Lightfall. So how you feeling? Enjoying the journey so far? Experimenting with Strand in any interesting ways? Don't forget that the community team has a new Twitter account over at Destiny 2 Team where you can drop the juiciest of juicy feedback or just show us all the ways you've been taken out of by a Cabal drop pod. Sorry, but that's just hilarious. Anyway, we've talked your ear off enough. Go out there and have some fun, and remember, drink your water, be sure to take in that self-care, and always strive to lead with your kindest foot forward. Until next time, friends, I should go. Okay, so, just from reading the TWAB, they didn't answer anything. They really didn't address any of the concerns that we as a community had. They just kind of tried to, in my opinion, paint it as if nothing's wrong. And I don't think there would be this much outrage in the community, and I know that Destiny likes to complain. We all have extremely high standards for this game that we care so much about, but they're just pretending like nothing's wrong. At least that's what it feels like with this TWAB, and I think it's something that they need to address. So, hopefully within the next week or two, definitely within the week after the raid, I hope that there is something that can kind of justify everything that's happened so far. But yeah, that's been the TWAB.